recording. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Cecil. What am I doing? Okay, do it again. Okay, so we are learning about the human bias today. And last class, we learned about the invisible gorilla. And that invisible gorilla experiment was intended to explain that we have a selective perception as a human being. Because we have a selective perception, because that we have a limited attention as a human being, and we have a limitation of the processing the input information from our sensory input. Okay, so that we have a limited capability in processing a few number of the happenings, and then attributing something into our meaning. So that is the reason why we couldn't see a gorilla when we try to focus on counting something else. Okay, so selective perception theory explain us as a human being we have a bias. Simply because we have a limited processing capability. Okay, because we have a limited information processing capability. Okay, maybe you can understand that as okay, so what if we have a good microprocessor in your laptop? Who is that? Okay, Winnie. Do you know that what kinds of the processor in your laptop you have? What kinds of microprocessor you have in your laptop, in your computer? Intel, i5, or i7, i3, something? Can you please check out what kinds of the microprocessor you have in your computer now? Check it out. Check it out. i5, i7, i3, Sand Lake. Check it out. You can know that. I have Intel i7 what? i7 what? i7 do you know? Give me a second. What I have? Okay, so I have. You have i5. I have Intel. Intel Core i7, 2.5 gigahertz. Okay, and quad core. That is my processor and my laptop. Okay. So yeah, this processor calculate a lot of the very good numbers. However, what if you have Intel? Yeah, Intel. What is that? Okay, the Pentium something. Pentium something, and that's old-fashioned. And that calculation, that information processing capability is quite limited. So then, if I want to play the League of Legends game, are you playing the League of Legends LOL? Is there anybody who played the League of Legends online game? Or FIFA? Or what is Overwatch? Are you playing the online game? Is there anybody who are playing the online game? Playing. Overwatch. Belinda, are you playing the mobile game or the online game? Belinda. Are you playing the online game? No? Cecil, are you playing the online game or no? Okay, yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, that's a boy. Absolutely. FIFA 19, FIFA 19. Thank you. Okay, so if you want to play that kinds of the FIFA 19 or the Overwatch, okay, what will happen if you have a very poor microprocessor, like i3 or the old Pentium something? What will happen? Can you play those kind of games in a smooth way? No way. Absolutely. Same things are happening. Same things are happening when we try to process our input information. Okay, the human brain is same. Human brain is same as the microprocessor. Exactly. If you can process the input information in a more effective way, in a more efficient way, maybe we can process a lot of information at the same time. And that is our intelligence. That is our capability. Okay, the more intelligent, the more capable people, ability of the available, yeah, the more smart people, and they can make a better choice. However, yeah, yeah, okay, so that are you? Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, but however, I'm not smart. I'm not smart enough to make the every single time I make the best choice because my brain has a limitation and I cannot process all the necessary information in a more efficient way and effective way. Mm. Yeah, I'm old and my emotions work. So, absolutely, we must admit, we must accept we have a limitation. Okay? Many times that limitation make a bias and heuristics. Our limitation. That's our limitation. What can we do? But we accept. We accept. Then, if we can accept our limitation, maybe we can make it manage. We can manage those kind of the unnecessary mistake. If we know that. Okay, that is the reason why we are learning about it, the human bias and the heuristics. Okay, good. And yeah, we saw the invisible gorilla. Invisible gorilla. Even though there was a gorilla, we couldn't process that information because we have a limitation. And the perception, we have a limited perception. Okay, attribution theory tells about it. Okay, so because we have a limited capability of the information processing, then we have a tendency. We have a tendency of the underestimating the influence of the external factors and and overestimate the influence of the external factors and underestimate the influence of the internal factors, whatever, vice versa. And many times this kind of the fundamental attribution error lead us to have our self-serving bias. That self-serving bias is the tendency for the individuals to attribute their own success to internal factors. Because I am smart, I deserve to have a success. Because I work hard, I got A. However, and then put the blame of the failure on the external factors. If you got a C or D, if you got a C or a D, if you fail something, okay, many times we attribute to like this, because of the bad environment of my work, because a few number of the students was totally stupid, because I had no time for focusing on the study something, because of the outside. Okay. However, is it true? Who knows? However, we usually have that kinds of tendency. It's okay. It's okay because we need why we have this kind of self-serving bias and a very selective perception something because we want to protect ourselves. That's okay. That's okay. Because I want to make it feel good. What if somebody say, okay, so you got an A, okay, you got A because you had a very you had stupid peers. What do you feel? You got A from this course because you had a very stupid peers. Do you feel good? Or do you feel bad? I feel bad. Yeah, because I got A, because I worked hard. Seems like exactly. So that is, even though that is true, okay? Even though that is true, okay? Even though that is true, okay? I will not accept that. Why? Because that make feel bad. That harms my emotion. That kills my positive energy. So it's natural. It's natural. It's okay. It's okay. However, we must accept a fact. It can be possible. It can be possible. Probably. Probably. Please open-minded. Okay, so this is my suggestion. But however, okay, everything is possible. Everything is negotiable. Don't be stubborn, something. Don't stick to that. Okay, don't attach. Okay, don't attach yourself in on a specific emotion. Don't attach yourself on a specific emotion. Don't try to attach it to feel good. Don't try to attach it to feel bad. Anything can happen. In order to avoid that bias. And please try to accept, I have a bias. It's okay. Okay? That is a self-serving bias we learned. Okay, so then today we will talk more about it, what kinds of bias we have. Okay, probably you will not accept what I am talking today. But however, we studied and we find out as a human being, we have this kind of the bias. It's okay. Let's see what kinds of bias we have. First, okay, so today I will introduce the 8 different biases, and let's see, okay, let's see about it. Okay, what kinds of bias we have? Does it make sense or no? First, overconfidence bias. Overconfidence bias is people usually tend to be overconfident about our self-ability and about the ability of the others. Usually that is for expert unconsciously. Okay, and for example, this is an example. Around 20 years ago, 20? No, around 30 years ago. Do you know the Bill Gates? Who is the Bill Gates? He was a founder of the Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft. Okay, do you know him? Okay. Bill Gates. Absolutely. Oh, what? That must be Randy here. So, okay, good. And how about this? Around 30 years ago, Bill Gates told like this. Okay, 640 kilobyte. 640 kilobyte of memory, RAM. Okay, RAM. The RAM memory ought to be enough for anybody in any situation. He told that around 30 years ago. And how many RAM you have now? Alan, How many RAM you have now in your computer? 16 gigabyte or 32 gigabyte or 8 gigabyte or 4 gigabyte? How many RAM you have? No, that's a hard disk drive. No. I am asking about the RAM, the random access memory, 8 gigabyte or many of you, probably 32. Okay, many of you may have a 4 gigabyte or the 16 gigabyte, or somebody will have a 32 gigabyte. Okay, so how about the 640 kilobyte? That's too small. But how about the Microsoft, Bill Gates told that? And do you know that that is still working on your, okay, if you are working on the Microsoft Windows, you are haunted by the limitation of 640 kilobyte. That is the reason why the Microsoft Windows is totally sucks. All the structure of the Microsoft Windows is based on the 640 gigabyte, and that is not working at all. However, still we are suffering from that. Because that was told by the Microsoft Windows, the founder of the Bill Gates. He thought and he told, and anybody believed his word. Then many of the software engineers and many of the engineers, many of the software engineers, they designed many of the Microsoft related software based on the 600 kilobyte limit of the RAM memory. That is the reason why we are suffering a lot from that kind of limitation. That's the reason why the Windows is totally complicated. Windows is totally have the blue screen issues and have a lot of the limitation in dealing with a large number of the information. That happened because he told so. But is it true? No. But how about it worked? Because that gives us overconfidence bias. And many around 30 years ago, many believed that, because Bill Gates says so, yeah, absolutely, that must be true, even though that is not true. It happens a lot. Or many of the CEO said, okay, our economy, our business is getting better. Many CEOs usually believe. Many CEOs and many CFOs and many business leaders, they believe their business is getting better and getting better and getting better. Any reason? No reason, without any reason. And the only one reason is because I say so. Really? Many CEOs really believes that, okay, their business is getting better every day because they say so. They are overconfident in their capability. Because I'm a CEO, absolutely, my business is getting better every day. Is it true? It happens because we are human beings. And then we have this overconfidence bias. And we will keep talking a little about it, this kind of the biased emotions. Okay, good. That's the overconfidence bias. And especially when we hear something from the expert, okay? When we hear something from the expert, we must think about, is it true? Probably it can be not true. We must test a question. when you hear some very important information from experts. Please do so. Okay, good. And the second bias is anchoring bias. Anchoring bias. That anchoring bias will be very easily understood in, yeah, maybe you can learn these kind of things from the marketing class. Are you taking the marketing class? Are you taking the marketing class, or are you, did you complete your marketing? Okay, marketing. So juniors. So yeah, this is that. This is 99 dollars and the 10.01. Oh, okay. So if that is okay, 9.99 versus 10.01. Okay. And maybe you are familiar with this kind of pricing strategy. Okay, 9.99 and the 10.01. Okay, absolutely, 9.99 is much more, is more attractive. Many times, why this work? Why this kind of pricing work? Pricing policy, pricing strategy is working because we have an anchoring bias. We call that an anchoring effect or anchoring bias. Anchoring bias is a tendency to fixate on initial information from which one then fail to adequately adjust for the subsequent information. Okay, so 9.99. Our standard is $10, and if that is under the $10, okay, I will buy that. And this kind of things can be more easily understood when we talk about it. This example. Now, just imagine, okay, there is an air pilot. You know the pilot? There is a pilot who drives an airplane. And he is now taking the salary of the $126,000 per year. And one airplane pilot is now taking the salary of the $126,000 per year. Okay, and however, unfortunately, something was happened, and then the pilot need to find another job. Okay, good. No, I make a mistake. Okay, I'm sorry. I make a mistake. Okay, so you want to hire. Okay, you want to hire a pilot. You want to hire a pilot. Maybe, you can offer $126,000 per the job. Okay, good. So there is a job. And how about we have two candidates? We have two candidates for the job. Okay, and the one candidate, his salary was $82,000. Okay, just imagine you are now getting the $82,000 per year. Okay, and will you take the job? If you are now taking the $82,000 and if you got a job offer $126,000, will you take the job? Absolutely. Yes. Okay, good. Absolutely, that's yes. Okay, good. However, let's think about this. What if you are now taking $200,000? Okay, will you take the job of $126,000? What if you are now taking the $200,000, and will you take the job of the $126,000? Yes or no? Probably no. Because why? Because of what? Why you don't want to take that job? Because yeah, I am devaluing myself. I feel bad. But Howard, let's think about it. Okay, $126,000 is better than zero. If you do not take the job, okay, you have no chance to get a salary, and something is better than nothing. Absolutely. But how about the many body will refuse that job offer? Why? Because our emotions, our thinking, our brain is anchored by $200,000. Okay, our thinking, we are anchored by this number. Is it rational to refuse at the $126,000 per year job? Probably not. But how about we do? We frequently do that. We frequently reject or refuse to take that job, even though we need that, because our emotions and our brain is totally anchored, hooked by that $200,000. We make that kinds of the wrong decision. Absolutely. Okay, so please keep in mind something is better than nothing. Don't you think so? I think so. But however, many times we reject because our emotions, our brain is anchored by a certain standard. That standard is your personal standard. You are hooked by a certain specific number or a certain specific situation, certain specific task. Please open-minded. Okay, anchoring effect. $99.99 versus 100,000. Just one penny. But however, why we choose 99.99? Because we are hooked by the $100. Think about that. We are easily hooked by a certain trap. So get rid of the standard. Get rid of the anchor when you want to make a better choice. We have the bias. Okay, that's the anchoring bias. And the third one is a confirmation bias. That's getting more weird. Confirmation bias is the tendency to seek out the information that reaffirms the past choices and to discount the information that contradict past judgment. Okay? Simply, people can see what they want to believe. Okay? That's a selective information choice. Okay, and then simply people can see what they want to believe. Okay, what is a good example? Do you like a soccer game? Soccer? And do you have any soccer team who you are supporting? What is your the most favorite soccer team in the world? Michael? No. Blues. Do you have a soccer team? Chelsea. Okay. Chelsea. Okay, whatever. That's good. That's good. And do you believe that in next season and the Chelsea win the championship? Chelsea can win the championship in the England Premier League? No. It's the EPL championship? Do you think so? Why you don't think so? Why not? Chelsea will win the EPL championship next season, not this season. Many supporters believe their team, the EPL, the Chelsea team, wins the championship in this season, in the coming season. And then why they say so? And many times when you communicate with those guys who is a really big supporter of a certain team, and they usually blinded. They usually get blinded to get to accept. Okay, they are blinded in accepting a truth. Really, and they totally believes in the favorable information. Okay, if there is a 100 inputs, and then maybe if you are a big Chelsea fan, and maybe you can focus on, okay, one small sentence is because of the Chelsea will have a new manager, and they will have a better, they will synergize at the players' games, and they will have a better chance to win the EPL team. That's positive. One out of 100, and then you just see that. You just attach that. You are ready to confirm that fact. And the 99, even though you have a 99 different opinions about that information, you ignore that. You just choose very biased information because you want to believe that. I want to see my team is winning. Don't you think so? How about the soccer team? Yeah, this is not a good example. How about the Chinese soccer team? Chinese soccer team. And I know this is not a good example. But how about the okay? So when I'm sorry. Sorry for that. However, every World Cup game, every World Cup games, and do you support the Chinese soccer team? Yeah, this is not a good example. However, no, don't give hope, please have a hope. Okay, when the Chinese soccer team has a game at the World Cup or at the World Cup preliminary games, okay, and you support the team, you support the Chinese soccer team, okay, because you want to believe. We want to believe, and at least this time, the Chinese soccer team will win because we are hopeful, and we try to collect some information. Because of our players is getting better, and because that the player is not working in the EPL league, and then we have a better players this time, and then we have a chance to win, and we fail. It's okay. It's okay. We are human beings, and that's the reason why we support our sports team. That's okay. However, don't try to make a ballot. Okay, don't try to make a gamble. Okay, so gamble is a different story. Don't try to gamble. Don't try to play a gamble with for the Chinese soccer team. If the Chinese soccer team has a player like a Son, maybe I will. Probably, yeah, but the Son Heung-min is just a small part, and we need 11 players. We need 11 players. Okay, there is no team. There is no single players that there is no single players greater than a team. That is my belief. That is my belief. No single players, what am I doing? Okay, no single player is greater than a team. I believe so. And personally, I think that the Chinese soccer team Chinese national soccer team individual players has a very similar potentials. Not bad, personally, I think. But how about the synergizing their capability and then unleashing their potentials as a team is a different story. And that's a problem of the player. No, 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 I don't think so. That's a problem of the management. That's a problem of the management. And yeah, before last year, and one of our WKU students, and his name is Steven. And Steven, yeah, we talked a lot about how we can make the soccer team win, Chinese soccer team win. And we talk like, yo, because I'm Korean, yo, yeah. And then we made a conclusion, okay? There is a problem with the management. So then Steven got interested in how to make a sports management. Sports management issue. And then, okay, so we searched for what kinds of the graduate programs is appropriate for the Steven, and then he chose at the University of Michigan Sports Management graduate program. He's now in the Michigan and studying and research about the sports management. And someday, if the Steven comes back to China, and then maybe if we can manage the Chinese soccer team, absolutely, the Chinese soccer team will get better. Absolutely, I believe so. So it is a problem of the management. What are you doing? There's a problem with the management. So if you're interested in studying about those kind of the problems, sports management problem, I definitely will support you. That would be fun. Okay, what am I doing? Okay, and then so confirmation bias occurs because that we want to believe something. And then because of our emotions, okay, we choose a certain information that favors to my belief. And that's the confirmation bias, and we make a mistake probably. Okay, and the next one is availability bias. And that availability bias is because we have a limited information. Okay, we have an issue of the limited information. Okay, that availability bias is the tendency for people to base their judgment or choice or decision makings on information that is readily or easily available to them. We believe what we can get. We believe what we can get, really. Okay, so what is a good? Okay, so this is a recency problem, and the recency problem is a part of the availability bias. And recency problem is that the managers give more favor weight on the performance appraisal to recent employee behavior than the behavior of the 6 or 9 months earlier. Maybe that is not good example. Okay, so maybe you have a few number of the experiences like this. Okay, so did you make several presentation in a class? Presentations in a class. Did you? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So then, as an evaluator, okay, or the professor, okay, how we give you what will happen? You make a really nice presentation at the first. Okay, so first, okay, so you made 5 presentations. You made 5 presentations in a course, and you made a really nice presentation at the first. Nice, 100. Okay, and however, unfortunately, it's getting worse. And the 5th, that's around. Oh, that's not good. And there you got a 50. Okay. And another students, another team got at the first, that was not good, and the 50. Okay, and in the final presentation, and you got 100. Wow. So then what will happen? What will happen in the score, in the grade? As an evaluator, I will give A for the second team because they are improving, and I just got the 100 at the final, and probably I will give the B for the first team because I forget the 100 at the first, but however, I can see the 50. They are really bad at the final presentation. Even though that the score is same, I cannot remember the many months ago, and then they did a very good. No, I forget it, and I just remember the most recent one. We call that a recency problem. Most recent information is make the biggest impact. Okay, most recent information makes a biggest impact. On evaluation. That we call that a recency problem. And do you think so? Do you think so? That happens? A professor usually give you a good score when you made a good impression on the final exam, on the final presentation. Because we are human beings. That's we call availability bias. Availability bias. Unfortunately, we have that. And professors, they are human beings. Absolutely. It's unfair. Do you think that that's unfair? Yes, that's unfair. That's unfair. Absolutely, that's unfair. But however, as a human being, it happens a lot. It's okay. We need to avoid that kind of unnecessary penalty. So then, we the better to be smart enough. Okay, so if I want to get a better score or the better evaluation, something, I'd better to make a better impression on the final. Oh yeah, we are now getting more confederate. We call that is a confederate. We are becoming more considerate. We are getting better, smarter. That's the reason why we are learning about this kind of bias. Okay, good. And the next bias is escalation of the commitment. Escalation of the commitment. Okay, that happens on increase the commitment to a previous decision in spite of the negative information. Okay, that is simply CEO make a okay, so that's not a good example of this. Okay, so in the gamble, why many people lose money? Or M&A. Actually, the merging and the acquisition in the business, that is very similar to the gambling. Okay, why in gamble? Why many people lose their money? For example, okay, so I will give the okay, so I will have the odd versus an even number. Okay, anybody can choose something, and if you got an odd number, okay, if you got okay, so if you got an odd number 1, 3, 5 something, okay, so I will let you have $100. However, if you got a 2, 4 even number, okay, and you will lose $100. Okay, so do you understand that? So I will toss a coin. I will toss a coin, and then yeah, what could I don't know. I don't know. And then okay, so I got something. I got something. I got something. Okay, now I want to raise a game. I want to raise some money. I want to raise some money. Okay, and okay, so you bet. You bet on the odd number. You bet on the odd number. Okay. You bet on the odd number. Yeah, if you got a 135 and that not odd number, you will get the $100. Good, good, and yeah, toss. I don't know. Now, I will ask for raise the game. I will raise the game up to $100. Okay, so will you play the $100 game? If you now abandon, if you just abandon now, and you will just lose $100. And how about if you win? Okay, so you will get the $10,000. Will you play the game or not? I don't know. It can be odd number. It can be an even number. And how about you bet $100 on odd number? Absolutely, I will try to play. Even though I will lose the $100, okay? Probably I will lose the $100, but however, I will play because I believe that must be the odd number. Then I lost. Then I lost the $100. I lost minus God, $100. Why we choose to play? Because I believe that must be the odd number. Any reason? No reason. But simply because I play, I bet. That must be the odd number. I believe so. Then, even though there is no reason to escalate, there is no reason to raise your money, play the game money, I will commit. I will do. Because I believe this. My choice never get wrong. My choice must be right. That's the reason why we play. That's the reason why we raise our money in game. Then we bankrupted Las Vegas. Yeah, there are tons of thousands that kinds of the stupid guys. But that's a human being. What can we do? Okay. So do you understand that we have escalation of the commitment? Because we are human beings, that's natural. But however, we need to avoid this kind of unnecessary escalation of the commitment to keep our resources. We'd better to keep our $100. Okay, good, good. And the next bias is a randomness bias or the randomness error. That randomness error is the tendency of the individuals to believe that they can predict the outcome of the random event. For example, I never make an important decision on the Friday the 13th. Okay, that is not familiar with that. But how about at this in China, in Asia? Do you know that? Okay, so in a building, and there is a floor 1, 2, 3, F, and 5, 6. Have you ever seen this? Oh, why? Why 4? Not F. Why F? Why not 4? In China, in Japan, in Korea, and in many Asian countries, we have a same bias. We have a same thing. Why we avoided using the 4? 4 in China means death. Yeah, that is. Okay. Okay. Am I right? Howard, is it reasonable? And simply because that is same, yeah, very similar pronunciation, and the fourth floor is a really bad portion, is bad, and that must be tabooed. Fourth floor, four is death. No, there is no reason. But how about we avoid? We avoid that kinds of the unnecessary, the misfortune. Okay, absolutely. That is sounds same. So then we don't want to say something, and we want to say that is for, not s. S, sh. Yeah, how can I pronounce that? S, sh, s. Yeah, yeah. S, sh, s, sh, s. She, she. Yeah, 죽을 사, 사. Yeah, in Korean that's a 사. Yeah, the same word, the death of the 사. Yeah, whatever. Okay. she. She. Okay. We avoid that. And the same thing is happening in the Western culture. 13, Friday. They avoided the 13 because at the Friday 13 is the death date of the Jesus. So then many, if you are in the U.S. and many of the Western country, and many of the people avoided making a good choice in Friday 13 because that's misfortune. Is it reasonable? No, there is no science. But how do we avoid that? We give a meaning on a certain random event. We give a special meaning. We give a very bad something. Okay, we give a very favorite something, because that's a random event. And how about it? What is your favorite something? Papa in Chinese. Is it good or bad? Papa. Okay. Why? Any reason? Why? Papa. 宝宝 Yeah. 不要一二三四五六七八 Okay. 八 Okay. 八 So that is 不 재물부 부자 부 yeah that is similar. Okay. Yeah. Okay. What am I doing? Am I right? 8. But however, is there any link? No, that's total random. However, we give a special meaning. It's total random. But however, we give a special meaning because we want to believe some good fortune, and we want to avoid the bad fortune. That's okay. Every culture has a different taboo. Okay. And the next one is a risk aversion. Absolutely, you understand the prospective theory. Okay, the tendency to prepare a sure gain of a moderate amount of overall riskier outcome. Even the riskier outcome might have a high expected payout. Okay, so we want to avoid risk, and then the negativity is stronger than a positivity. Okay, we think loss then gain. That's a risk aversion. That's a prospective theory. Okay, good. And the final way is a hindsight bias. The tendency to believe the falsely after an outcome of the event is actually known, and that one would have accurately predicted that outcome. Now, experts say the Blockbuster could avoid the bankruptcy if they invested in the web-based delivery. Okay, and how about this? Do you know that the gasoline price? Okay, so stock price. Okay, Okay, so what's going on at the stock price in recent days? Almost all the Chinese stock prices is getting down or getting up recently. Stock price of the all Chinese, okay, drop. Okay, however, let's come back to the coronavirus. And in early January, what did you expect on the Chinese stock price? Is getting better? Is getting up or down? Is bullying or is getting down? Probably almost all the finance expert predicted the Chinese economy is getting better and the Chinese stock price is getting up. Almost everybody. And now, almost all the finance expert is now talking about it. Okay, so absolutely the Chinese stock price was getting poor. Because that we have a coronavirus. Why? And they think, okay, they refuse to accept that they was wrong. They was wrong, but they didn't say so. And then, oh, no, because I was right. And when I reflected that kinds of event, I was right. I said so. Yeah, that absolutely that must be happened. We got this hindsight bias and the foresight and the hindsight. Foresight is that, okay, so we are predicting future. Hindsight is we reflect. And absolutely, we need to have more better insight. Dive into the more better, deeper meaning, deeper understanding. Okay, so this is the bias. This is the bias so far. So I just introduced 8 different biases we may have. However, we have a lot of bias. I didn't tell. Okay, we have a lot of bias. It's okay. Because we are a human being. We are not free from this kind of bias. It's okay. It's okay. However, we need to know and we need to manage ourselves in order to avoid unnecessary mistake in decision making. If you do not know this, okay, maybe you do not accept we may not accept we are limited. However, if you accept we are limited, we may need to try to avoid this kind of bias mistaking. So my suggestion is please open-minded. When you make a choice, when you make a decision, please open-minded. Because I have a lot of bias, maybe I can make a wrong choice. Then I'd better to try something more. That is necessary when you make a good choice. Okay? Good. So far, that is all. And any question? There are a lot of bias we have. Don't worry, you are not the one. Everybody has a bias. That's okay. We just need to accept. We just need to manage that. That's fine. We are human beings. Absolutely, that's fine. Okay, any question? Any concern? Any comments? If no, can I see you next Monday? Can I see you next Monday? Okay, good. Then I will see you next Monday and have a nice weekend. I will see you. Bye-bye. Bye, Cecil. Bye, Randy. Bye, Tail. Bye, Hale. Oh, no. Ah, yeah, Blues. Bye, Blues. Bye, Leah. Bye, Nicole. Where's that? Bye, Angelina. Bye, Belinda. Nicole. Yeah, Nicole. What am I doing? Nicole, bye.